Hey, this is Wayne for Reviews, and I'll be doing a video on Mary, Queen of Scots, starring Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie. Saoirse Ronan plays Mary Stuart, and Margot Robbie plays Queen Elizabeth I. This movie is about Queen Elizabeth I trying to trying to do everything in her power to get Mary Stuart off the throne. And so she hatches up this huge scheme with several other people, and it ends up ruining Mary Stuart's reputation. And now, for me personally, I thought the ending was very surprising, simply because going into this movie, I got their names mixed up. I thought Saoirse Ronan was going to play Queen Elizabeth, and Margot Robbie was playing Mary Stuart. Yeah, that's just a minor thing with me. This movie was kind of what I expected it to be. It had like the accents that I had a hard time understanding. Therefore, at some points in the movie, I did have a hard time understanding what exactly was happening. But as the movie did go along, I started to like pick up on what the actual story was. The movie is a little better than what I thought it would be. I thought the acting was great. I don't like Saoirse Ronan at all because she's usually in movies that I don't like. But I do like Margot Robbie, and I thought their acting was really great. I thought the acting overall was great from everyone. I thought the scenery was beautiful, like seeing the characters on horses trotting down green, trotting down these big hills that were covered in green grass. Like it was, and seeing like wide shots of the castle was beautiful. I thought that was amazing. I thought that would have looked great on IMAX. Overall, the storytelling is great, and I do recommend people watch this if you are a fan of the actresses or if you are a fan of this type of film. Now, some people are saying that this movie is inaccurate. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a history buff when it comes to medieval times. But to me, that doesn't matter. It matters if the movie itself is entertaining. Now, before even watching the movie, I saw a lot of people that were complaining about black people that were in the movie, when in fact there were black people in medieval times. There weren't that many in England at that time, but there were some. So I thought it was really silly that people were complaining about, one or two black people in the background. Also, I think it's funny that these same people have no problem casting whites as African kings and queens, but they're getting real butthurt over a couple of black extras who have no bearing on the plot whatsoever. Now, despite saying all that, I will admit that did have a problem with them casting an Asian woman as Bess of Hardwick. I mean, Bess of Hardwick was white in real life, and that was super cringy to me. I thought that was very forced. And a lot of people were saying, oh, forced diversity, inaccuracy, blah, blah, blah. But I will agree with them that the casting an Asian woman to play this character was very forced. And she should not have been in there. Like, there was really no reason for her to be in there. There were like dots of black people like throughout the beginning of the movie, and I will admit it did seem a little forced to have that many working alongside the queen. And in my head, I was even joking about they're probably gonna put like a drag queen in here somewhere, and then thinking, oh, they would never do that. But I was like thinking, what if they put a drag queen in there? And then like 2 minutes later, they showed this flamboyant gay dude working alongside the queen, and I was like, oh god, they actually did this. They actually did this. Wow. And then I did a little bit of research and come to find out that was also accurate. And this character's name is David Rizzo. I did some research and come to find out that was accurate to what happened, and this David Rizzo character actually did have an affair with Mary Stuart's husband. And I was actually flabbergasted at the fact that this guy was able to live despite being gay at that time. So I'm thinking because that was a real thing that happened back then, maybe that's why they felt the need to put a little forced diversity here and there with the Asian actress. Overall, I thought this movie was okay. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because I didn't love it, but I was entertained by it at some points. It did run a little long for me. And one more thing I needed to go on a rant about was Margot Robbie's makeup. And I did some research on the real Queen Elizabeth, and she didn't look that crazy. And I'm just going by on paintings, and there were other movies that were about Queen Elizabeth I, and their makeup didn't look that crazy. So I'm wondering why, in God's name, did they make Margot Robbie look like a psycho in this? Like she literally looked like something from Alice in Wonderland, and that's a comparison that other people were making before the movie came out. Like she literally looked like a clown. Like she looks like Ronald McDonald. Like why did they make her look like that? Like I know the real Queen Elizabeth couldn't have looked that insane and that like her makeup wasn't that bad even back then. Like it couldn't have been. Even going by paintings again, like she did not look like that. So I don't know why they decided to make Margot look insane. But overall, again, I'll give this a 5 out of 10. I do recommend it if you like these types of movies. Thanks for watching.